All right, good morning. Welcome to our channel this morning. It is a nice, frosty 30 something today. And, we don't get cold temperatures like this very often down south, but it's pretty cold. So I decided to hop in here because I wanted to discuss the old stimulus check everybody likes to talk about. And the reason I'm bringing this up this morning is because many of our viewers of our channel asked us to discuss the possibilities of that. There are no stimulus checks that I'm aware of that are going to be issued to anybody, okay? Now, clearly the title here is about TARP dividends, but it seems at present many YouTube creators have found a unique way to create their own private stimulus check, and that's for you guys to click on their videos and read about some bullshit, okay? So let's talk about this TARP dividend and how that might play out. So President Trump, under many circumstances, and through the White House, and also by when he was visiting other news agencies, discussed the possibility of taking some of the TARPs and creating dividends, which could, in many ways, be given back to the American, people. These dividends could be issued through tax reductions. It could be because, through not taxing overtime. So it doesn't mean you're getting a check at all. Just to be clear about that. So let me say good morning to a few of you guys. And we're going to cover a few other topics this morning too. But that's why I didn't put some fancy thumbnail in this video, because people literally, you guys are allowing many of these YouTube creators to make a brilliant amount of money by clicking their thumbnails on stimulus checks. That shit hasn't existed since the pandemic. You got to stop, okay? This is why I just put a simple one. I probably robbed it from some other news agency, because I honestly didn't even feel like putting time and effort in this thumbnail. So dividends. Now, in a perfect world, we'd all like to receive a dividend check from the U.S. government, but nobody's thinking about inflation. And it all rolls down to TARPs. When we charge other countries a lot more money than that toaster you wanted to buy at Walmart for $12, all of a sudden becomes $24. And then you scream inflation, right? I'm being price gouged and robbed. Okay, all these TARPs have pushed inflation extremely high. Yeah, we're collecting more money, but the people that need to send the shit here are charging double and triple for this stuff, and so things become affordable. And then when you inject dividends by, say, virtue of a check back into the American society, say during tax season, then what we end up with is hyperinflation. So while it's fun to pop the check and go into Walmart and fill 4 buggies of highly inflated products and goods, I don't know that it would do that much good for any of us. Okay, unless you have 12 children, then you're gonna have quite a payday, So, another thing, it doesn't mean that Congress is going to approve anything. Congress has already shown that they don't approve many things. Yesterday, all the American people were in Noah's Ark for 40 days and 40 nights. And our U.S. senators were in the bathroom on the toilet for about 40 days, just thinking and contemplating what they were going to do. They were so much indecision, right? So after many bribes, death threats, and so on in Congress, between Republicans in Congress, they finally got off the shitter and decided to make a partial decision. So after the extreme nature of extorting each party, they've come up with a possible solution. So stimulus check, no. Dividend, the likelihood of that maybe is 1 to 8%, okay? And it's more likely to play out that simply will be a reduction in taxes if you're working. So in other words, if you're retired and you're not currently making a living, you're not going to be incentivized anyways, because it wouldn't cover you don't receive a paycheck. I mean, you receive SSI, SSDI, survivor benefits, or railroad benefits. So, and also Congress would have to approve it. And this is the same Congress that couldn't approve anything for 40 days. Now you want them to sit there in tax season and discuss the stimulus check, okay? it'd be best for everybody to just worry about getting by right now and not fantasy stimulus checks. You know, we made a video yesterday, regarding the hooker with one flip flop. You know, she's making a stimulus checks at the red light. There are lots of ways to get a stimulus check, but it's not. I don't really see that happening. Um, Look, what we probably should consider is a reduction of TARP a little bit, to reduce the pressure during the holidays, especially while people buy things. That would be, in my opinion, the best stimulus check ever, because, if we're going to charge these countries, 50% more to mail a $12 toaster and it turns into a $50 toaster, then we've got a problem, of high inflation. And so stimulus checks, it sounds wonderful until what good is a check going to do when everything's, 5 times the cost is 5 times more? That stimulus check wouldn't go very far. And so these are just dividends and they can be issued any way they want. And it doesn't mean it's even happening. There's a lot that has to happen in order for dividends to be issued. And it could take several centuries before Congress could even make that kind of decision. Right now, they don't even know whether they want to pay the military, open the doors, or be on vacation. So, in other news, besides, here's your real stimulus check. They decided to possibly agree about something, but it's not done. It doesn't mean the president's going to sign the end of this government shutdown. Apparently, a few 8 Democrats decided to switch sides, and they want to see an end to this. But right now, it's just more hot talk. So America has got a message about the government shutdown ending, but it hasn't really ended. It's just they've talked about it. Nothing's been approved through Congress. Nothing's been signed by the president. And guess what? It is now November 10th. These people are going to be leaving on a plane to places like Fiji and the Bahamas, okay, going to their summer home here in about a week. And the only thing we got out of this deal, this government shutdown, is a discussion of whether or not they'd be willing to do anything. That's it. It's just hot talk. Nothing's ended. The only thing that's ended is there's a possibility, okay? And so for the rest of you hoping and banking, on stimulus checks, look, this administration doesn't do stimulus checks, okay? This is not Joe Biden. Okay, Mr. Trump looks at things very differently. If he incentivizes the economy, he's going to do it through tax reduction, okay? Not mailing you a check. So I would advise steering clear all these videos selling stimulus checks, because the only real stimulus checks being given out are to the YouTube creators that keep on pumping that bullshit into YouTube. You guys keep clicking away and they keep making money. So yeah, they're stimulus checks. The checks are going directly to the YouTube creators that keep hooking you guys into watching this shit. Okay. So watch out. All right. Good morning, Sheila Davison. Peace and joy. Good morning, Galileo. Nice haircut. Yeah, I had to trim it. I probably should have took a shave this morning, but I've got stuff I've got to do, and didn't feel like going through that as well. So, peace and all. Bush gave him $300. Trump is giving $2,000. Is he? Then we just talked about this, and we still have another person that's riding a unicorn. They still believe they're getting a stimulus check. Look, guys, it's not a stimulus check. It's a dividend. Did nobody here take economics in school or college? Okay, there's a big difference. And it's not a check. Nobody's discussing a check. Okay, dividends happen a lot of ways. And there's no guarantee of that, okay? So I'm not trying to insult anybody, but it'd be better for you to Google something than to almost watch a video at this point, because I'm telling you, there are a lot of echelons that have to be approved before something like that would happen. And there's no guarantee it's going to come in the form of a payment. I mean, it's more than likely that effect would be done through reduction of tax. You'll never see that money. Again, lowering inflation would be a better stimulus than anything. Lowering inflation by virtue of lowering TARP would allow us to purchase things, at 20% of reduction, sometimes 50% reduction. So you got to think about this economically, not just run down to the check cashing center and Trump gave me a check, because that's really, he's talked about it, but nothing further. He's talked about it 10 or 20 times, and he's not made a decision. And we as a country have much more important issues to address than stimulus checks. We have a lot of inflation in some parts of the market. We have a lot of hyperinflation, and that's a big problem for America. And the problem with hyperinflation is, as we reach Christmas, a lot of stores aren't going to meet their quotas and income and revenue, because people don't want to be robbed blind buying gifts. So stores are going to report lower than average sales, and so there's a rollout effect with this, because we have inflation has been out of control now for 5 years. Moving on down. RKX, I believe these people have been whip saving all of us, and yes, no way past the agitation. I think it's deliberate. Hot talk, as you say. Well, I mean, it's just talk, and I think that it's good to open air thoughts. I do it all the time, and so does President Trump, but presidents can want a lot of things, but the gatekeeper is Congress. And if Congress decides he doesn't want to get involved, they don't, there's 300 people have to majority vote on this. And it doesn't, just because they're Republican doesn't mean that necessarily they're going to agree with the president's ideas. It's a negotiation. You get approval. It's not something the president can just simply grant like that. There's no national emergency. There's no pandemic. There's no president to allow for an American president at this point to just simply hand out checks. Okay. Less tariffs would be the same thing, though it doesn't feel as good as a nice check in the mail. Did anybody ever actually receive a check in the mail? If most of you remember, there were no checks. It was simply a direct deposit. I don't even know why people make videos talking about checks. Nobody got no check in the mail, a physical check. It was direct deposit. Okay. And there were 2 or 3 of them. And for some of you, you went round and round with an IRS you couldn't even reach for like 2 years during the pandemic. And then eventually, when you just about gave up hope, they gave you three checks, 3 direct deposits. All of a sudden, you're very happy about that. So, there's my favorite, rainbows, unicorns. Yep. That's what YouTube does. It blows unicorns and rainbows up your ass constantly. That's just how it goes. This is YouTube. We talk in pleasantries and positivity while the whole fucking world burns down from inflation. Okay. While senators are in Fiji, while the 50 million people that can't even eat or have a turkey, and we're still on Noah's Ark. All we've done in Congress last night was we took Noah's Ark, 40 days and 40 nights on the Ark with all the shark, all your senator sharks swirling around Noah's Ark there. All we've done is dock this fucking thing to the side of a mountain. That's all we've done. Nobody's getting off. Nobody's buying the bullshit. Don't drink Jim Jones Kool-Aid. All right, so we've got that. And so who's going to approve it? And then so here we go again. And everybody's like, oh, well, they've come to some type of agreement, but ain't nobody whipped out no pen. No pen's been pulled out. Okay. So here we go into December. Santa Claus will be on your roof. I told you, they're buying time, and I bet they'll run. These senators are going to be running out of Capitol Hill. They're going to be dashing through the airport, right, to get on that vacation. And they'll get back with you. Look, at the sound of the beat, fuck off, America. Okay, they'll get back with you. You're going to be put on hold till December. Okay, look, the senators have already packed their socks, their underwear. They're halfway to Fiji. All they needed to do was just to get most Americans to shut the fuck up for a few minutes. Okay, calm them down so they can get on the plane and fly out. They'll be back in December. They'll sign somewhere around January. So after we've just about had the Salem witch trials, we got Santa Claus hanging from the roof from a noose. That'd be about the time they sign up on this shit. And you guys are wagging along, some of you, and y'all think the in between this, you think they're sitting out there in that beach in Fiji thinking about giving you stimulus checks? You've had too many shots of Jim Jones Kool-Aid. Don't even get me cranked up in this shit this morning. Seriously. So good morning. All right. I'm so tired of all the bullshit. Hey, that's what it is. Anybody that's here that has had any struggle in life, lives in the real world, works a real job, works 8-10 hours a day, or even retired and have lived 3/4 of a century, let's say. Does anybody here agree that what's going on is nothing more than writing on the wall, just straight bullshit? Okay? Could you call it anything else? I mean, even if you only had an IQ of 3, okay, you've got a glass eye, a wooden leg, Sally's at the corner, okay, hooking at the pole. Everybody's keenly aware that it's all just bullshit right now. So they reached an agreement around a steak dinner last night, and we're still on Noah's Ark. Now we're at 41 days. And, they're going on holiday vacation. That's a minimum of 2 weeks. So they just wrote you a fucking IOU, and they're going to go to vacation. And when they get back, then they're going to leave again for Christmas vacation. That'll be about a month. At what point will these people actually clock in Congress? They're not even there, guys. Half of them, they literally had to fly some of them back. They already had their toes in the sand in Fiji. Okay? And we're talking about stimulus checks. You're going to get a stimulus check when you get into Walmart and you can't even buy a house. When your house slippers are $95 fucking dollars and a turkey is $200, there's your stimulus check. We're going to start buying turkeys from China. All right. So I was trying, look, this morning I was going to be Christian and not use profanities, and already my blood pressure's about to shoot through the roof. American 1476, he needs to stop printing the fucking money. I love you, man. You did exactly what most Americans are thinking right now. Squarely handled that, just the way you said it. Okay. We've got to slow the roll in this country right now, and we got to address and focus ourselves squarely on the U.S. citizens. Otherwise, we're going to run the risk of having the worst holiday season in U.S. history. And the reason I'm worried about holidays is because overall, most grown people aren't going to be that affected other than upset and understand. But it's going to ruin a whole lot for children out there. The ones that can't eat can't afford nothing because the parents can't. Not to mention people that ain't got money to feed their own pets now. And we're not talking about 10,000 people or some homeless people or even Sally spinning around the stop sign hoping for 50 cents, okay? Just hooking to hell. She's working 20 hours a day at the fucking red light because even she ain't got money. Okay? It's that bad. You got drug dealers in Walmart buying value right. They can't even sell $5 of crack. It's tough times, baby. I mean, the other day I saw a shopping cart. Somebody stole the fucking wheels on it and left it on bricks. Who steals the wheels off of a shopping cart? I mean, those are hard times when you're jacking the rims off of a shopping fucking cart at Kroger and left it on boards, a brick. Where do you even sell tires to the buggy? I'm in Houston. This might be something you see down in the lower parts of Bronx or somewhere down in Detroit. But, I mean, we're jacking the rims off the damn buggies. You see Momo with a walker, she done knocked the teeth out of her head because she tried to fly out the front door of Walmart with a buggy. She tripped, her wig fell off, and now she ate the fucking the asphalt. Now she's going to have Christmas dinner in the Harris County jail because she couldn't even get an Ensure, a little box of Ensure. She had to steal a damn chicken out the store. And we're talking about stimulus checks. Okay, you see your senators sitting there having value right steaks. You think they bought that wine? They're gargling down the 1642 Chateau Mignon. How do you think they went to the fucking value right aisle? You think they're eating discount cheese puffs? So, yeah, we might all be having frozen dinner with Cheeto vegetables. Call it the way you see it, man. Stimulus checks, dividend checks. We'll talk about that next year if we have a next year. But I mean, we need these people. They're trying to get on flights, but we haven't paid air traffic control. So 7,000 flights have been canceled. But that's okay. Senators have private jets. They're going to get out the country anyways. The rest of you are going to stand at TSA line till you probably die of old age. So you spend $4,000 to fly and see family to have a turkey that's $200 and some value right green beans. That senator, I guarantee you, he ain't gonna have that problem. Okay, he'll have a 600-pound turkey sitting around a 40-foot dinner table. You know, if I could go get a big, large paddy wagon, I would roll that bastard all the way up to Capitol Hill and arrest them all. Take them down to Motel 3. Make them start turning tricks because I want a fucking refund. I want a fucking refund for all this shit. You want to take money out my check? You want to take my money out my check, bitch, and then you want to take off to Fiji? You don't want to work for 40 days? Well, I'll take you down to Motel 6 in 3rd Ward, and you're going to turn tricks for 41 fucking days. Around the clock, baby doll. Not even a sip of water. I want a fucking refund. Okay, I don't want your stimulus check. I want your ass to be grass. Audacity. You're going to chip off. They're going to give us a little chip of their fraud. No, I don't want that shit, man. What I want is you to do your job. If you can't do that job, then we'll hire you as a prostitute, and you could spin around the red light all day. I call it the way we see it. What you going to do when you want to come somebody pull some shit like that? You going to work, bitch. Give me my money. Okay? There's your stimulus check. It's your U.S. senator in some pink panties and some stilettos at the red light. Okay? So moving on back. I digress. You know, I'm a Section 8 consultant. I deal in federal level of getting people housing, and I've had to drop to just about negative trailer park and ghetto 8 degrees because I'm so pissed off about shit. You know, it's tough times for me as well. My company we're barely doing business because this whole thing is just a gigantic charade. You know, we're literally breaking part of America, and we're starving people to death, and we've got people that won't even show up for work, and we elected them to do this. Every Friday you go cash your check, we're having a fucking giveaway. We're paying people that don't even clock in anymore. And the angering part is what makes me upset is not so much that that we're paying them out of our check. It's the fact that I know they're doing absolutely nothing. And I know they're sitting on gigantic checking accounts in big houses, summer homes, spring home, Valentine's home, winter homes, deer lodges. And did anybody take the time to read the government shutdown terms that we were to, instead of feed people that can't eat right now, to help children, veterans, and seniors, that we were going to focus our budget on building shipyards, repainting the walls of the BA. Now, the walls of the BA didn't pay any tax, did it? The shipyard didn't pay any tax. It can't do that. But the people that paid the fucking tax can't get a nickel. You know, we could design new tents for the homeless, but we can't actually house them. We can help the veterans paint their walls, but we can't help them actually eat or get medical care. We can build shipyards, but we can't help reduce the medical costs. So yeah, I think that we need to just take everybody down to Motel 3. It sounds quite perfect for me. I'll dress as Santa Claus. I'll be the pimp Santa Claus. And we'll start running the doors, all 50 doors. I want senators in every one. We'll have visits every 10 minutes. Fuck it, till you have a stroke. Okay? Or give me a refund. Because ain't nobody trying to work all day and then sit here and tithe 10, 20% of their money after you work your ass off to pay some middle-aged white folks up in Congress that ain't even fucking clocked in. And they also, let me show you how the hog works when it rolls in the mud, when it rolls in the cash. They actually had the fucking nerve to write $20 billion. Just it's a part of the deal in order to bring Congress back is they demand $20 million to update Congress. So they'd like for us to not only polish the fucking chandeliers, they need new leather sofas. I mean, fuck it. Why don't we put a hotel room in there as well? That way they can hang out with some hookers. That took some nerve. We don't address anybody that needs food in the country. We don't address inflation at all. But we got time to install new chandeliers in Congress. I say we put Congress, Capitol Hill, sell all that shit. Put it at auction. We start, I already discussed that. Unplug the light bulbs, kill the air conditioning, rip it out, take it to the pawn shop. Turn it into a sweat factory. We could issue prison suits to all the senators, and they can sit in the sweat factory until you do your fucking job. Because you don't earn a nickel out of my check. Okay. Now, granted, some of that, as I mentioned yesterday, some of that does go to the benefit of the American people, but it wasn't done conscionably. It wasn't done because, hey, I actually give a shit. Because if they gave a shit, they could have any time addressed our seniors and veterans. But to put a little sugar on a pile of shit don't mean nothing to me, because that's what it sounds like. Oh, yeah, we'll kick in a few dollars for the veterans. But if we do that, we're going to need $20 billion for new chandeliers in Congress and in the House. How are we supposed to trust these people? I'll tell you how we trust them. Motel 3. And I want them, honestly, at $1 an hour, I want people to bring their loose change. Every 5 minutes, turn that trick, baby doll. I don't even want a $5 bill. I want you to bring your loose change down to Motel 3, and we're going to have a hooker-thon until we can get our mind straight, because this ain't what America needs right now. People waking up and having to look. You got people barbecuing chicken one day and dinner the next day is just licking their fingers. Look at the barbecue up their fingers on the next day. But we got these fat bastards need 20. They had the nerve, the absolute nerve. They wrote themselves a Christmas gift inside of that bill. They like to sign up on that shit. So here we are, talking stimulus checks. Yep. The biggest one, the only stimulus is going to be is incentivizing Congress and the House to act like grown-ups. We pay them for roll calls. Just like you didn't. Remember in kindergarten, you got a gold star and a fucking cookie? They actually went on national news. Oh, we're working so hard. We came to work on a Sunday. God bless America that we actually could show up on a Sunday. We're working so hard. And my $5,000 Gucci shoes, my Gucci slippers, I showed up at work for 38 fucking minutes and did a roll call. Good boy, good girl. This is the kind of stupid shit I'm talking about. All right, moving on from there. Good morning, guys. I've got my morning frustration out, so I'm glad now. It's a hot coffee with a hot temper. Oh, boy. So that house guy and content creator said, we people impatiently really sending Argentina $20 billion. That's how it goes. American. Okay, so we move on to the next one. ASP services. Yep, we are all experiencing absolute ridiculous. We are really need to pull together now more than ever. We do. We need to do that all the time, honestly. Need more English education. I said, look, man, we got bigger fish to fry than sit around and have speaking spells and learn English, okay? But I appreciate the concept. Oh man, AP service, everything's wonderful. I got a big box of popcorn watching all the welfare recipients freak out. So you trying to wind me up, huh, partner? Oh, you're gone. 72 with the heat on, 72 with the AC on. It's about 61 right now in the office. I was unaware we're having a cool front. Can I get a stimulus check for my heating? Trump did shitload of stimulus checks, unfortunately. We can't add inflation on top of inflation, okay? We got to stop at all the checks. People know how to earn money. If you don't have a way to earn money, then we can go down to Motel 3, man. Look, Motel 6. Yep, and as veterans, disabled, and single parents, and besides myself. That's a lot of people, man. Ever since Bush, I haven't gotten a stimulus check. Well, damn it. You know, you didn't know that when you're born, you get a stimulus check. I'm so sick of hearing that word. I wish we could ban that word from the English language library. I'm not going to lie. I love the jacket. I've had a couple of years. I got a pretty good deal on this jacket. And I got Mickey Mouse on today. Y'all lucky I make this video on my house slippers because I have no incentive right now. There's lots of YouTubers that are going to do hair, lipstick, and everything. You know, talking in perfect terms. I'm not interested. I figured we should just talk about real shit, man. I'm not here for bubbly shit, okay? I'm not here for the positives. We're living in a different reality and time. And if you're comfortably sitting there with a whole lot of money in your bank account, be fortunate. Could be your ass. I got a lot of people that don't deserve what you're going through in this country. You know, the haves and have-nots. Tough times. So you run the risk of upsetting the low class, the middle class. Okay. The only people seem to be getting by pretty good are the corporations. Christine Gannon, yep, is good, laughing out loud. Remove air conditioning, that's not a bad idea. I think that would be a great idea for Congress. So we line up all the kindergartners in the Congress and the House, and after we give them a cookie and a gold star, we remove the air conditioning and then turn up the heat to about 900. So we can hear the little hog squealing there, okay, until they can fucking sign something to start the government. Any other job, you get fired for doing this, okay? You go in the parking lot and you protest, your ass gets fired when we allow senators to do this. And the fact that nobody has brought gas, matches, or even attempted the Salem witch trials out there is shocking. We'll be down soon. The next discussion will be at 50 fucking days. And these guys are going to be on Thanksgiving vacation, come back for just a moment. You'll see a flash as they dash in and dash out and then take off a month for Christmas. Now, when you're making about $1 million and a half a year working up there, okay, trust me, his Christmas tree will be 48 fucking foot tall. Anybody here going to be giving out diamond earrings, 1 carat diamond earrings? Will any of you bringing the family down to a 3-star restaurant to have a $2,000 bottle of champagne? Just gargle it down like a dirty whore. So that's your congressmen. We've elected these pieces of shit in there. They're not even, this is worse than the pandemic. They're now getting on video like it's the pandemic in their Gucci slippers in Fiji in the hotel. Okay? We're not even doing roll calls anymore. Christina Gannon, it's a matter of law to have heat. Well, we are already in a lawless country anyways. I don't give a shit. If I want to bake the senator, I'm going to bake his cookies, okay? I don't care if he deserves you earned that air conditioning. Billy, good morning. Thank you for the roses. Stephen Green, leather jacket I bought. It was last one I ever buy. One of my dogs chewed through it. Have y'all seen what my cats have done to my chairs? Okay, they've destroyed about $1,000 in chairs. Look at that. See all the little white spots? That isn't decoration. That's some little paws. And the minute them little paws feel a little bit of leather, they sink their claws in there. They have completely eradicated half of one of my office chairs. You see, this one's got about 90,000 holes in it. That's key cats up there. and they're just, yep, they aerate everything but on. I got a couch that barely has a leg left on it because of my cats. They use a scratching post. Okay, I've told everybody, you hold nothing sacred in your home if you have cats. I got a male cat; he pisses on everything. Okay, I got another that scratches the leather, everything up, and then I've got the one that likes to break glass. Right, he likes the sound of shit breaking. Okay, it's the worst kind of cat to have in your home, but I love my cats. So hey, I guess I will dedicate a 4 to 5% stimulus check to myself to pay for all the broken shit in my home. Not like 3 in the morning and you could hear about $400 in crystal shatter. You look to the cat and he looks at you with such love as he smashes all your shit. Okay, or you're in the shower and you hear Key Cat and it sounds like he's ripping every fucking thread out of your $1,000 mattress. But you're in the shower, so you got to wash off the soap, rinse your hair out. By the time you've done that, the only thing that's still left on the couch is just part of the wooden leg. He's even taking the fucking enamel off. So that's everyday life, right? That's my stimulus check for growing up and being a big boy. Those responsibilities we'll have: kids, children, cats, and dogs. You grow the fuck up and you deal with it, right? I'm over it. I don't have anything to prove. I have a leather jacket today. If I make the mistake, I have a little dementia, and I get that occasionally during the day where I forget where I am, then my cats will remind me. They will sink their claws into this jacket. You lay it down for just a moment, and you're going to get a sweet treat, baby doll. They will pop holes all in this jacket. I've even got a few spots. I got to them quick enough. So, yep, you want to find out? My cats will make you aware. You'll have a seizure by the time they're done with your shit. Okay, you're gonna need a good old fashioned, what do you call it? Not a Viagra, but a Valium. Okay, because when that cat shreds your shit, but we go through to my house. I have about a loss rate of about 9%. I buy something, I go and get a drink of water, and the cat's took off with a leather jacket. He's under the sofa munching on it. And so what do? You freak out and you have a psychiatric moment and hope your neighbors didn't hear. That's life. Merry Christmas. One day I'll tell you about my Merry Christmas cat. Today I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. But if you know anything about me, it's going to be some smart mouth something. All right, moving on to my lovely, lovely key cats that tear all my shit up, piss on everything. Back to stimulus checks. That is the hour. That's the power hour, the stimulus check, the famous stimmy, old stimmy. Stimmy. Can I get my stimulus check? Stephanie Green 6888. Sounds like your banking account or email number. Oh, yes, we don't. We, Christine, enjoy these rants. Well, I don't have anything else left after the cat's tore all up. It's just rants, man. I've got cat. That's what we do. There you go. See, we should have started a cat club on here. My shit got tore up and I don't know how to freak out. I love cats. Queen Patari. I just get a chair cover. Oh, you clearly just get. You said that like you've been down Main Street. Let me tell you something. My cats will take. They don't even need that cover. You will watch them take that cover off and then shred your chair. Okay, they're not worried about no fucking cover. You know, I put a little cover. I've hid entire things behind things to get it away from them. Hung it in the closet, shut the door. The cat will find a way to open the door. Okay, that ain't gonna work. Jay Valdez, the Senate passed a bill to end the shutdown. Well, no shit. You were really late to this party. You must have got drunk last night. Everybody knows that. It's all over. While you were sleeping, man, we tattooed on your head. The shutdown has ended. Okay, but it ain't ended. They've had the senators, when they took another bite of steak on their gold steak knife, they stuck it in their mouth and they were thinking and talking about ending it. Nothing's ended. Okay. Don't take it too personal. We're just trading licks here. Nothing's ended. There's a discussion to end it. Ain't been approved by Congress, ain't been signed by the president. It's not talk. Okay, but don't get offended by that. So, all right. Brenda Parenta. and just good morning. Well, thank you. Keep it simple. Maybe if my dream location pans out, can I get a beautiful therapy cat? That's really what my cats are, and everybody else. They're therapy. They're there to help you out a little bit. Your dogs and your cats. I think they're the only line of defense we have is our pets. Otherwise, we just freak out and run around naked in the lawn. All the stress in the world. Thank God for pets. They calm us down. Um, from TARPs, okay, from TARPs, right? Consumers are paying for it. Of course. Let's hold a little kindergarten class. If we raise TARPs, people in China make the toaster for $12. They put it on a shipping container with thousands, right? And then we raise those TARPs. So the toaster leaves on the boat, comes to America, and now it goes from $12 to $36. Okay, so there you go. There's inflation. Simple. And then you write a stimulus check, right? For those that want that. So you're going to pay 3 times more through inflation to use a $2,000 check that's 3 to 4 times less in value. So what do you end up with? Hyperinflation. Okay, so it's the whole process is defeated. Little chaperone, cat power, of course, cat scratchers. Stephanie, my cat is now hanging out in the kitchen sink. He's monitoring where the water is, probably. San Antonio is a cha-cha-cha chili. Good, I like that. Cha-cha-cha chili. AAP services, with all going on, I'm going to need more pets. There you go. You roll through my neighborhood, you collect about 200 cats an hour. I got a cat door in my home, and in the past 5 years, I've had at least minimum 5 cats that, and I'm sure that my cats have done this to me. Okay, my cats. They march around the neighborhood. Yo, you know what? There's a soup kitchen right here on the corner. Big Daddy J. Look, he's got a hole in the fucking door. If you come by about 9 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and around 9 o'clock at night, we got a soup kitchen mold in there. Just use your paw and push the plastic door. I've had more fucking random cats move in my house. And it isn't just them. I've got a possum that comes every third night in the middle of the night. He waddles in here. He likes cereal. I've tried to evict this fucker about 15 times. He keeps coming back. Okay, that's the possum. Let me tell you about the 40-pound raccoon. He waddles in. He used to have a family of 8. Okay, all these fucking people in my house. I've got a cat door, which means that it works both ways. Anything that's living and breathing can come through the door. So I got a possum, a raccoon, a bunch of cats, and then I got all the strays. And then you start hearing the howling. So also, I didn't know I was running a red light district, so the cats were shaking a leg out here. And so, where could they get a little brunch? Come on to Big Daddy's house. Let's have a little lunch. I'm running a fucking soup kitchen through the back door. It's not like waking up and I've got a 30 to 40-pound raccoon sitting squarely on my dinner table looking at me. Like you can see it in his eyes. Yo, bitch, where's my dinner? I am late for work. Where is my dinner? So the raccoon looked at me, where's dinner? Like it's expected. He done gotten the fucking cereal, the shit has been popped and sprayed all over the house. And every day we deal with this. The cat sit on the bed and they just look, shaking her head. Oh my God, what's this? Why did we ever move in with Big J? Why we do this? He tries to feed the whole neighborhood. I didn't try to do that. I've got a fucking zoo running out of my house. Then I asked these cats to come pop through the door. Do I want a raccoon living and standing on top of my refrigerator, staring at me? I get up 3 in the morning, take a leak, and I've got a giant fucking possum looking at me with an eyeball cocked to the left. Huh? You ever seen old possum? Fucking eyes bulging 3 in the morning. Next thing you know, you pop your slipper, and you're on the fucking floor. This is what we go through at my house. Thank the cats, because they went around town with flyers and they grabbed every Tom in town. God help you. They get on the roof. They're up there. They're doing the doo-doo on the roof. You know what I'm talking about. They're up there doing the do. So, we're running a red light soup kitchen with a possum, 5 to 8 raccoons. I constantly buy cat food. The raccoon, he can eat about, just so you know, guys, a 30, 40 pound raccoon can eat about 3 to 4 pounds of cat food in a single sit. And I got to listen to this bastard do this because while you're sleeping on your mattress in your room, if you've ever heard a raccoon chow down on about 3 to 5 pounds of cat food, they require a lot of water. So he gets in the water bowl like a bird. He splashes. He has to wet his little bitty hands as he's sitting on his little feet, and he wets his hands each time he fucking eats the cat food. So all night, crunch, crunch, crunch. Now I could take a wet flip flop and knock the shit out of him, right? Get the fuck out of my house. But I don't do that. And so I try to spook him out. He comes right back. He'll hit every 3 hours during the night. Okay, you throw a branch, he'll throw it back at you. So it's a lost cause. So yeah, I have a petting zoo. What can I do about that? Oh, goodness. We're having a morning. Marie, good morning. Brenda, good morning. I need this laughter this morning. I do too, because if you think we're having a madhouse in Congress, my mornings are just wild around here. Okay. Lisa, you should get a comedy show. I really should. Always wanted a raccoon and a possum. You don't want them at the same time, trust me. The possum's a little bit more problematic because they'll bite you, and I've got it's like a giant rat tail, about that big. Looks just like a rat tail. You feel like you've got a 15-pound rat, and you can see him eating. And what do you do about that? You have a hole in the door that invites your cats in. So I'm running the soup kitchen. I want to hear a congressman tell me that I'm not served the American people, because I know I have at this point. I've served the what do you call it? The wildlife. I've been feeding the rabbits, the birds, the possums, the raccoons, everybody. So there's where your stimulus check. You got potball, the wildlife. Well, I'm glad y'all kind of enjoyed that. I intended for it to be funny. I was trying to lighten the mood here. The last couple of videos have been tough, but they're not doing their job. I can't do my job. These are tough times for even the consultant me. It's tough for all of us, and we're all trying to find unique ways to kind of survive this. If you've got money, assets, and everything, and you're doing well, then kudos to you. I'm glad for you. I don't want to see any human suffer. I don't want anybody really to spend the holidays without having food. Now, after that, it's tough shit. You just have to eat bread and butter. Okay. But I mean, we're all still kids at heart. And I think we probably believe we deserve more than we should during the holidays. And that's okay. That's part of life and its expectation. But I worry about our young adults, the message all this sends. I worry about the children that don't eat. I worry about the old folks that are barely getting by, that can't afford to participate in their own holidays. I worry about these things for people. It's needed. These holidays wouldn't have been invented and been around so long if they weren't that meaningful to people. And so I'm hoping we get our shit together as Americans, because nobody wants to celebrate Christmas with cutting out, skag weed and putting toilet paper on it, calling it a Christmas tree. These are a bit tough times. So, but back to old Stimmy, the stimulus check. I don't really see anything of that happening. If it does, if there's something more discussion about it, possibly next year around tax season. Otherwise, I think that we're all just going to need to do our best. For me, I probably, I've got a fifth of whiskey. I know how to have a good time during the holiday. Okay. It's been sitting on the shelf for about a year. Me and the cats will get along just fine. I don't need a turkey and all that good stuff, Holidays about family, friends, and your pets. Try to enjoy them. You don't have to spend a bunch of money if you don't want to. So, anyways, soon there are no 2K checks then. That's the message. If we're still struggling to figure out whether there's stimulus checks, then I've done a very bad job today in this video. Okay. If we're still struggling with unicorns being blown up our ass, and we're still thinking there's some kind of stimulus check, then y'all have really been bamboozled. Oh, Angela, Congress won't have the wait. Their flights are gone. I told you the whole reason why we have 40 days and 40 nights on Noah's Ark here, and now we're on day 41, and we still have not ended this government shutdown. The senators just need to trick America long enough to get on the flight, okay? Get the air traffic controllers to return to work just long enough to wave them off the tarmac so they can get to PG. Now that they're all safely on board their vacation arc to Fiji and the Bahamas, America will realize we've all been bamboozled and that the government shutdown will likely stretch into another month. You do understand these guys can retract everything they said. This is a gentleman's handshake. Does it look like anybody? Do you trust anybody in Congress or the House at this point? Huh? Oh, we shook on it. I don't want to see shit about that. I want to see the president's signature. Okay? I'm not buying all this. Okay? Y'all just saying what you have to say to go on vacation. Okay, and so I don't, nothing's been done. It's hot talk. Ain't nobody signed shit. I want to see the president's signature. And they're not going back to work. They're going on vacation. Good morning, Chris. Glad you could join us. Sandra Hooper, message retracted. Don't talk dirty. Wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration. So is the government open or not? It's not open. They reached a deal. So they connected to the deal. The government's still closed. Okay, it needs to be approved by Congress, and then it needs to be sent to the president and signed. Do you know how long that's going to take if President Trump is on vacation, Congress and the House are on vacation? They're not racing to sign anything. It is Monday. What have we signed? The government's still closed, guys. You don't get that? When you see a news article says the government shutdown has officially ended, the president signed off, that's when it ends. Nothing's ended. Don't be a sucker with a lollipop up your ass. I mean, really. Stick a stick right up your butt and you're the lollipop. I believe in shit like that. It ain't done. I hope that they do. I think that President Trump at this point really, really wants this to come to an end, but it requires everybody to keep their word. Now, how do you ask a bunch of politicians not to lie, cheat, and steal? That's the question here. Now, we know they all smoke cigars, got around the Indian horse trading table, right? We got a deal, but ain't nobody wants to put this shit on paperwork. I don't believe the bastards until they do it. It's no good till it's good, right? So, good morning, Nay. That Houston guy, the government makes my ass twitch. It makes everybody's ass twitch. It's gonna make their ass twitch if we had to put them at Motel 3. Greetings from Silicon Valley. Oh, I like Silicon Valley. No, it's not open. It's a vote in agreement to open. So they had a handshake and a vote. Oh, guys, well, it's another day. Don't let the senators and congressmen out the nation until the president signs off. That's what I would like to see. There are 1 million people furloughed right now. We barely have air traffic control. 7,000 flights are canceled. And the only thing we've got is we're going to take another roll like in kindergarten. Raise your hand if your name is Sally. Raise your name if your name is Jim Bob. Okay. They've already pressured us in the news and said, hey, we had to work for the first time in our miserable life on a Sunday. We clocked in for 38 minutes on a Sunday. Please feel sorry for us. It was just such a pity party across national news. We should actually feel bad for them, as if they were working so hard. He probably sweated from wearing that Gucci suit all the way in the Congress building, breathing $4,000 worth of air conditioning. I don't feel sorry for them. I just want them to sign off, Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up today. I've had enough good rant. I feel pretty good now. Anytime I can talk shit about the U.S. government, it brightens my day. It's like a Prozac. I would like more for us to start opening things up, and so we can run the country a bit. We can't just all the other nations on the planet are their politicians are working. In Singapore, they'll hang your ass. Okay, they'll take you out the fucking sidewalk, beat you with a cane, or throw you into an endless prison for not doing your job. Many countries will do that. And other countries, the people will bring out pitchforks. Okay, they'll show up and burn your fucking building down. So there are consequences in most countries. Okay. But over here, we let our politicians hop on planes to Fiji. So I think the right thing for most Americans to do is go and purchase one gas can and one box of matches and send your local senator a gift. This will be your paycheck if you don't clock in, bitch. But don't do that. That's just meant to be a joke. I don't want anybody doing anything to bring the Secret Service to their house. But you see my point, guys. We got to bring this to an end. Okay, we got too many other things going on in the country. Okay, so don't mail any matches or gas cans to your local center. But I mean, come on, how long can you mess with the villagers before they burn your house down? They're saying Trump will have it signed Thursday. Well, that would be great. That'd be a nice gift. Now, we've got about 50 days of mess to clean up before we can get things back to where it already is. So that's a start. Have a great day, man. YouTube Mark Hill. Wisdom, maybe the government will include a raise for themselves. They always do. It's Christmas gift. Get wrapped by the American public. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I've got things to do, cats to feed, and a life to live. And I've enjoyed having you, shooting the breeze with you, talking about the government. And I hope many of you enjoy your holidays for what it's worth. Okay? Have a great day. Bye.